So how do you recover from a bad PhD interview? I want to talk about that today. I think it's a really important thing for many of you that are going through PhD interviews. You might be doing one and you think like, man, I didn't cut it. I didn't sort of figure this thing out. I had a really bad feeling, and then you get no response and nothing happens. And then you might get a rejection letter after that. I want to talk to you about what this actually means, what is going on there. So you can imagine that there actually is a supply and demand. There's a marketplace for PhDs. It's small, but there definitely is a marketplace for PhDs. And there might be, 30 or 100 applicants to one position that's actually there. And so you might be thinking about, hey, when I go for this thing, I should have everything down. It should work out. So I encourage you to prepare, do all that kind of stuff. Make sure that you understand who the people that are there, connect with them, do as much as you possibly can. But, if you do all those things, you're going to come out of it, and many times you're going to have a bad feeling. And I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you this is really important. Move on. If you have a bad PhD experience, no matter what it is, it's often not you that's the fault. There is, whenever there's some sort of relationship and some sort of connection, you got to realize that it's a two-way street. And if people are not making you feel welcome or comfortable or part of a community, and there's some sort of weird feelings that's going on there, that's often on the other people that are there. And it's something that I've had to learn to deal with a lot, and I've learned to sort of process this. It's often not me. I'm going into a situation, I'm really earnest, right? Like, that's who I am. I'm a very earnest kind of person, and I want everybody to like me. That's who I am. That's my personality trait. And what I've learned over the years of doing this is that not everybody likes me. And not everybody cares to like me. And not everybody wants to be on my side. They sort of maybe they view me as a threat, or maybe that's just not part of, they just don't get me, right? And so I can sit there and I can think about all of the different sort of bad situations, which I do. I'm not any different than you, right? I sit and dwell on different things, and I think about like, well, why didn't that happen? Or why didn't that happen? Or I thought I had everything going. And then, you get no response or nothing happens, and you feel bad about yourself. But the only thing that I can do is to tell you to move on, tell you to stop dwelling on that. It was not an important relationship anyways. If they were not willing to invest in you, given that there is some awkwardness and it's weird, and that all of these kind of things, right? The whole thing is weird. It's a weird interaction that you have that is forced, that is highly unusual, that, you've got this weird status divide, all this kind of stuff. The whole thing is weird. And if people are not willing to sort of be part of that and understand that part of it, then you got to come out of it thinking like, wait a minute, it's not me. It's really not me that's having this sort of weird, awkward moment. It's actually the other people that are going through that. And yes, there might be, and then here's the sort of market component to it as well, right? Is that you might be up against 5 people, right? You have an interview, there's 5 other people that are there, and it could be just a slight difference, a weird thing that somebody's picking up, an unusual feeling that's happening, and that's all it takes, right? It's very, very sensitive to a lot of things that are going on, and a lot of things that you can't control. It might be somebody wakes up on a bad day that day and they just don't have a good feeling with you, right? And there's nothing that you could do about it. So the only thing that you can do is to keep going, is to try again, go and pursue something else. Yes, that one place is probably out of it temporarily, right? In terms of the applications that you can give. Maybe this year it just doesn't work out, right? But then you apply next year when there's somebody else that's there, or that there's a different sort of selection committee, or there's a different group that are picking up on different things. And I can tell you that this happens a lot. But here's the thing, right? You might be thinking like, okay, this is the end of it. I just have to keep applying. No, what I'm saying is don't stop persisting, don't stop growing, don't stop doing the things that you need to do. If the thing that they're looking at, some people are really objective and they focus on metrics. It's the only thing that matters, right? They focus on those metrics. Then they're just going to look at your GMAT, GRE scores and all that kind of stuff. And then that's the only thing that matters. So if that's the case, bump it up, go take it again, take all the stuff to get there. Now, some people might be, they might look at letters of reference and all that kind of stuff. Well, then you look at you see, like, how can I build a better letter of reference? How can I actually be part of the community? What can I do to actually do that and find somebody that is part of it? Like, you, the amount of time that I have done this whole YouTube thing and the number of people that have legitimately reached out and tried to do something, it's like minuscule, right? And so, like, there are people out there that are looking for, good people that you can reach out to and help out and all that. What I'm saying is don't stop. Don't get carried away with simply a bad moment that happens, and just keep going. Do one more day. It's another day. And this whole process, when you have a bad experience, come on, it is part of the entire academic journey. The research game is full of rejection, is full of bad experiences. You're gonna go through so much of this, and you're gonna experience like, why didn't that happen? Or what? I get rejections all the time, and it sucks, and it's awful, and I don't like it, but I get back up and I get doing it again. And yes, I mean, mentally, it's hard, right? Mentally, it's very hard, but I get back up and I do it again. And I keep trying, and I don't give up. And I think that's the only thing that you can do. If you have a bad experience, just keep going.